Hello everyone, now you will hear a short retelling of the film Blood for Blood. Enjoy watching. An elderly woman is trying to guide a local kid who has just stolen a candy from a store to the right path. The boy apologized to the seller and ran home. Then two robbers entered the store. Having stolen money from the cash register, the seller was shot in cold blood. The woman screamed. The scumbags shot her too. Many people came to Evelyn Mercer's funeral, including her adopted sons. The police are already hurting them. The older bandit, Bobby Mercer, has the nickname the Michigan Tormentor. Jack is the youngest, although he doesn't look like a bully, but he's still a Mercer. Jerry resembles a law-abiding citizen more than others. But the fourth one, Angel, a military man, for some reason did not come. Evelyn rescued hundreds of children from the orphanage and found them a home. 4 of them were the most notorious bullies she couldn't get a job with. That's why Evelyn adopted them herself. The brothers know Lieutenant Green very well. After all, they grew up in the same neighborhood. Bobby is going to deal with his mother's killers. He doesn't believe in cops. Later, a 4th brother joined the brothers at Evelyn's house. His plane was late. The men went to their old rooms and plunged into nostalgia. The stern Bobby occupied his mother's room and soon burst into tears. Angel was going to visit his old friend Sophie. The brothers advise him not to do this, she has a man. But he didn't listen to them, and now the 2 of them are half-naked running away from some gangster. Angel dragged a flighty lady to their house. She's going to live with them now. The men are messing around and fighting, while the younger one is busy with a memorial dinner. The brothers recall how Evelyn made a remark that they should not slurp and not put their elbows on the table. Or she noticed that someone got a new tattoo. Before finishing lunch, Bobby encouraged the others to go play hockey. However, they play hard and simultaneously pile on the local men. The Mercers came for the inheritance, and the lawyer handed over various documents. Someone found out information about their parents, except Angel, for whom not a single piece of paper was saved. The brothers quickly divided the cash and went to the warehouse that Jerry had recently bought to open a new business. After that, they hung out at the bar to have a drink. The older ones make fun of Jack, who thinks he's a cool rocker. The bartender came up to them and, expressing his condolences, began to talk about the missing local gang. Angel, Bobby and Jack are determined to find the killers of their foster mother. Jerry is a family man. He decided to go home. The remaining brothers questioned the bartender about what he knew. Bobby handed one brother a pistol, the other a canister of gasoline, and he took a shotgun. The 3 of them went into some kind of hellhole where the punks were having fun. The police shouted and forced the crowd to flee. There were a few hooligans left who, along with their ladies, were seated on sofas. The chief was doused with gasoline and began to ask questions. He allegedly witnessed and should have seen the killers when he was hanging out on the basketball court. But the murder happened at 11, and the lights on the playground are turned off at 10. So he wasn't there anymore. The witness was bought. The first clue didn't work, and the brothers returned home empty-handed. Bobby suspects that Evelyn could have been the target of the killers, and the robbery was just a cover. In the morning, Jerry joined the trio. Together they went to the store owner to show them the recording of their mother's murder. They conclude that there was no point in this. The money had already been taken, but she did not see her face. It was an execution. One man seemed to hear gunshots, and the police talked to him the longest. After finding out the signs of the witness, the Saffro dude, the brothers came to the basketball court, where it often happens. Bobby interrupted the game, hit one player in the nose with the ball, and immediately pulled out the barrel. The bandit started talking about his mother, who was murdered in cold blood. After hearing the signs, one boy tried to escape. Jack ran to catch up, and Angel blocked the back exit. Apparently, the guy wanted to warn someone. That's right, his brother Damien. These are his signs. After rummaging through the athlete's belongings, they found out where he lives. Jerry ran away again. He needs to take his daughters to gymnastics. The others are waiting for Damien in the car. Soon he appeared. The brothers ran after him. When the man saw the gun in Bobby's hands, he got scared and started running. When he got to the apartment, he unleashed her Rottweilers on Bobby. Angel drove the dogs away with a fire extinguisher, and Damien already had a rope ready for such a case, along which he descends to the 6th floor and simultaneously shoots back at his pursuers. Bobby couldn't think of anything else to do but cut the rope, and now Damien is sprawled on the asphalt, asking for an ambulance. He is offered a deal. The brothers will call an ambulance in exchange for names. When they were already leaving, the poor guy nevertheless agreed to point out the two who gave him money for perjury. Upon arriving at the casino, the Mercers quickly identified the two killers by their description, but they also noticed the suspicious trio and opened fire on them. The brothers chased the couple by car. Poor visibility on the road due to snow. Angel shot the driver with a pistol and he flew into a snowdrift. Bobby then rammed the car, but the chase didn't end there. In the end, Bobby baffled the villains and their car first spun, and then completely overturned. Angel and Bobby first beat up the gangsters and then executed them in cold blood, just like their mother. Lieutenant Green and Detective Fowler arrived at the crime scene, and then, of course, they visited the Mercers. Bobby denies any involvement, no matter what happened, but Fowler shows him his hair, which was found on one of the dead killers. However, Bobby knows that this is an old setup, and you can't get him to admit it like that. Green asks Bobby to share if he has found out something, but he remains silent. Gang leader Victor Sweet chastises his men for hiring local shooters for the case, even though they were supposed to find killers from another city. He forced Fat Evan to eat off the floor. Evan's wife was indignant, and she had to get a snack next to her husband. Sweet ordered to find out who killed the shooters, but the brothers want to find out who hired them. Sophie persuaded Angel not to go anywhere. When they were alone, the insurance agent came to ask about their mother's insurance. It turned out that Jerry was paying for their mother's life insurance for a large sum. His business was on the verge of bankruptcy, and his brother would receive $400,000. A serious arsenal of weapons was found in the apartment of the shooters. Angel found out that Jerry was involved with gangsters. Which ones can the man from the mayor's office, who shut down Jerry's business and thereby bankrupted him, tell you? In addition to weapons, the shooters found a camera with pictures of Evelyn. They show her together with a lawyer, the executor of the will. All four brothers broke into his house. Sophie, the brawler, also showed up and started yelling at Angel all over the street. The lawyer had just arrived. Bobby knocked him down in the snow and, lifting up his t-shirt, began to slap him on his bare belly. Why did he lie to them that he had only seen Evelyn once? It turned out that the man had a relationship with their mother. Bobby apologized for the bullying and for the broken window. When Bobby was defecating and Jack was taking a shower, Angel decided to tell them that the fourth brother had not been completely honest with them. He's bankrupt. They also need to visit an official named Douglas. The lieutenant also came to interrogate the lawyer. And according to him, on the day of the murder, Evelyn filed some kind of police report. The two brothers were waiting for Douglas's advisor in the parking lot and started asking him about the gangster Jerry had contacted. He ignored them and got into the car. However, her interior was already doused with gasoline. Bobby poured it on top and picked up a burning cigarette. Victor Sweet immediately blurted out the advisor. At the same time, Jerry received his check, and Angel is watching him. Lieutenant Green looks at the footage from the video cameras. When Evelyn came to the station on the day of the murder, she talked to Detective Fowler, but he didn't say anything about it. Bobby found out that Victor Sweet used to be his uncle's boss, but then he drowned a relative in the river and now holds the whole area. And Jerry owes the whole town. Right now, he approached Evan at the bowling club and handed him a bag of money. Jerry receives a large insurance policy for his mother's death. The brothers approached Evan and, threatening him with a weapon, took away a bag full of bucks from him. The counselor came to the entourage and told them that he had been interrogated by both a cop and Bobby Mercer. Sweet realized that the official had ratted him out and sent him to sit at the children's table. During a poker game, he mocks a subordinate and threatens to fuck his hot fiancée, saying she is too good for him. Later, he chased away the women and children and executed the counselor. The brothers are nervous. They can't wait to deal with Jerry. When he came to his mother's house, Bobby immediately slapped him and forced him to answer the charge of Evelyn's murder. But Jerry says that she insured her own life and he just paid the insurance premiums. He actually paid all her bills. He's the only one of them who's taken care of her all these years. Sweet made sure that his business went down, and a $20,000 bribe was needed now so that he would still be given the green light at the mayor's office. While they were arguing, Jack opened the front door and was hit in the face by a snowball. He ran after the asshole. He spun around and shot the younger one. But Bobby didn't let the killer finish Jack off by hitting him with a shotgun. A whole gang jumped out of the car. The younger one got a burst on his legs. The other brothers came into the house. Jack calls for help, and the Mercers start shooting back. 3 bandits have already died. Bobby tries to get it by shooting through the wall. One shooter ran in through the back door, and Jerry stabbed him with a knife. Angel shot another one from the 2nd floor. The bullets ran out, and Bobby beat the last shooter to death with a brick. He was almost run over by a van himself, but Jerry managed to ram him. Jack bleeds out and soon dies. Bobby clarified with the driver that Sweet had sent them and shot him. Green asks what happened here. The lieutenant himself tells them that Sweet killed their mother because she wanted to put the gangster away after she found out that he was ruining her son's life. Green came to the billiard room to deal with his corrupt partner. Every word Fowler says is a lie. Green picked up a key and smashed it into a dirty cop and then calmly headed for the car, but Fowler caught up with him on the street and shot him. Immediately, the scoundrel radioed that his partner had been shot by 2 black men. Green and Jack were buried. The brothers realized that they would not receive any help from the police. Bobby regrets that they came home and doesn't know what to do next. He doesn't want to lose his brothers anymore. Jerry offered to give the retinue all for $100,000 so that he would get behind them. He met with Evan and conveyed his offer to him. They've agreed to meet in 3 hours, but first it's important to eliminate Fowler. Jerry cashed the check and sent the family away. His wife asks Bobby to take care of her husband. Angel gave the fat redhead a 20 and a bunch of chocolates to make something. Ginger knocked on Fowler's door and offered to buy chocolate. The cop got distracted and Angel broke into his house. He threw a bag over his head, tightened his belt, and started strangling the corrupt cop. Jerry came out to Evan with the money. 2 more gangsters were waiting for him on the street. They searched him and took him to the main one. Angel didn't kill Fowler, even if he was a corrupt cop. This is too serious a crime. At the same time, Sophie came to the police and said that her boyfriend was going to kill a cop. The squad immediately rode out to Fowler. He was glad to hear the siren. The car with Jerry stopped in the middle of the lake. They've already made an ice hole for him there. Angel says he's going to tell the police that the scoundrel took down his partner. So what if he did it? No one will believe Mercer. Except Angel was wearing a wire, and the lieutenant in the van had overheard their conversation. However, Fowler does not give up and attacks Angel. Sweet drove up to the meeting place. Now let's drown the dumbass and get out of here. The gangster in the fur coat got out of the car and looked at the pile of money. Sweet clarifies that for these $400,000, he must forgive the brothers and forget about them. I buried my brother's mother. I think that's payback enough, Vic. Actually, Jerry has another suggestion. He'd rather give the money to the hard workers who surrounded his entourage. The gangster is sure that Fowler will cover for him. He is about to arrive. But Fowler is not up to it. He took Angel hostage. The cops don't understand what's going on. They came to his rescue, and he's doing what he doesn't understand. The cop opened fire and was shot by a sniper. Angel didn't have any wiretapping. He tricked Fowler. The retinue is wondering which of his people would dare to take him down. And then Bobby appeared on the horizon. Mercer challenged his mother's killer to a fist fight. The fight turned into a fight. Bobby piles up an entourage and knocks him out. The former subordinates picked up the body and threw it into the ice hole. Next, the Mercers were going to be interrogated by the police. But all their testimony boils down to the fact that they fucked the moms of the cops who interrogated them. The women provided alibis for their men. The brothers started rebuilding the house. The local boys are worried that Evelyn won't be coming back. And Bobby saw his mom again.